You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you, let me always be with you. come love me again. Like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
I am sailing home again, across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. I passing high clouds to be near you, to be free. Can you hear me? Can you hear me through the dark night far away? I am dying, forever crying to be with you. Who can say? Can you hear me? Can you hear me through the dark night far away? I am dying, forever crying to be with you. Who can say?
Trees of Greenland, red roses too. I watched them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, "How do you do?" They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Everybody gotta save themselves, make the kuleana pono for help the other. And when you make your kuleana, pono, then it's like kind of automatic kind of. You don't need to talk the stuff going happen, and you just gotta let them, and the stuff just waiting for when you ready. And what happened?
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, "How do you do?" They really say, I love you. I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
He is now to be among you at the calling of your heart. Rest assured this troubadour is acting on his part. The union of your spirits here has caused him to remain. For whenever two or more of you are gathered in his name, there is love. There is love. Will a man shall leave his mother, and a woman leave her home? They shall travel on to where the two shall be as one. As it was in the beginning, is now until the end. Woman draws her life from man and gives it back again, and there is love. courage of your spirits here has caused him to remain. For whenever two or more of you are gathered in his name, there is love. Oh, there's
Oh, no. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to St. Thomas United Church. My name is Tracy Robertson. I'm the minister here, and I am honored to be opening and closing this celebration of Barbara's life. And I thank Bob and his sister Pam, there you are, who is part of St. Thomas. Bob is now too, I think, for this privilege. Thank you. A few housekeeping items. Now is the time to silence your phones if you haven't already done that. There are 4 non-gendered washrooms out the main sanctuary doors to the left. And there's going to be washrooms upstairs as well when we have the reception. The reception will be upstairs in the Mountain View Hall following the service, and the stairs are out to the right of the sanctuary doors. And if you prefer to use an elevator, there is an elevator in the building. Let me know if you need it, and I might accompany you in the elevator. It's safe. I'm just saying. Some people like to be accompanied in the elevator. So there is also no congregational singing planned, but if you feel inclined to sing along with some of the songs, feel free to do so, but we do ask that you wear a mask if you're singing. Housekeeping done. I invite us to take a long, slow, deep breath in and out as we center ourselves and enter into a time of celebrating Barbara's life. We gather here on Treaty 7 territory and Métis Nation Region 3 traditional territory, and within the walls of a proudly affirming space, assured that we are in the protective shelter of each other's love, healing love. Here we are free to pour out our grief, release our anger, face our emptiness, and know that we are not alone. We come together united in our love of Barbara and the support of family and friends. The support of family and friends have and will continue to steady and comfort us. Through all things, the Spirit is with us. Amidst the stories and memories we share today, giving us the strength to carry on without her. May the knowledge that Barbara lives on in our hearts be accepted as a gift from that Spirit. I invite Bob up to lead us in the rest of the service.
Well, thank you, Reverend Tracy, and thank you, everyone, for coming out. The first person to present is going to be Barbara's sister, Elizabeth. She unfortunately could not manage to come out from Ontario today, but we do have a pre-recorded presentation that everyone will get a chance to see now.
Hello, dear family and wonderful friends of Barbara. In case you don't know me, my name is Elizabeth, and I am Barbara's sister. I live in Ontario with my husband Tim, my 2 grown daughters, their husbands, and 3 wonderful grandchildren. I'm sorry I can't be in person with you today, but I'm happy to share some memories digitally for this celebration of Barbara's life. Barbara was born in England and emigrated to Canada with our parents when she was just 4 years old. They eventually settled in Toronto, which is where I was born. I can't tell you a lot about Barbara's early life, because I was only 5 years old when she started high school. But the family photo album is filled with pictures of Barbara and I together in the backyard of our home, at the beach, and at High Park, which was a favorite destination after church on Sunday. We also loved to visit our aunt and uncle, cousins, and the farm in Sarnia. As I mentioned before, Barbara started high school in the same year that I started kindergarten, and because both of our parents worked, it fell on Barbara to look after me after school until our parents got home. It was also her responsibility to start the family dinner, and I think this is where Barbara honed her cooking skills. She also would bake beautiful cakes for special occasions, everything made from scratch. I'm sure that all of you are aware of Barbara's incredible creativity. Along with being a terrific cook and baker, she was an expert seamstress. Over the years, she created many Halloween costumes for her little sister, and in later years supplied our family with cozy fleece hoodies and hats, many of which are still in my closet. When I was to be married, Barbara sewed all the dresses for my bridesmaids, despite the fact that she had 3 young children at home to take care of. Whatever project she was working on, Barbara would never just follow the recipe or pattern as it was written. She was always thinking outside the box and added her own special spin on every project she worked on. She approached every aspect of her life in the same way. Music was an integral part of Barbara's life. In high school, she learned to play the oboe and joined the high school band. I loved band practice. It meant that Barbara would be home a little late after school, and I could raid her record collection. While my friends were listening to the Monkees and Donny Osmond, I was reveling in Simon and Garfunkel and Joni Mitchell. I still have a fondness for folk music to this day, thanks to my sister, who took me to many folk festivals, including Mariposa, back when it was held on Toronto Island. Being in the band also meant that my sister participated in her high school's annual music production. She would often bring me to rehearsal, and I would feel very special sitting in that big auditorium, watching my big sister play and meeting all her grown-up friends afterwards. There are so many more memories I have of that time. I think most kids look up to their older siblings, and I am no exception. Barbara was always my mentor and my protector, and I will miss her advice and counsel greatly.
We'll see if that's the right spot now. We'll find, maybe. Life's an iterative process. We kind of have our ups and downs. We'll find out whether we've hit the right up at this point in time. The next person who would like to present is Andrea, who is our daughter.
Hi, friends. How is everybody? So, oh, thank you. I come with my own volume, so I should probably stand back here. I work in the fitness industry. I have gym voice. So, for those of you I haven't met, hello, nice to meet you. The rest of you, hi. I have prepared definitely not a speech, kind of more a collection of memories and funny stories that I thought would be fun to share. So, lots of happy memories through childhood and youth. So I'm sure you guys all knew Mom was an engineer and extremely logical in everything that she would do. Every single decision, holiday, anything was on a spreadsheet. Life is designed to be set on a spreadsheet. Always, and it used to make me crazy, but now I find I do it at work and I'll send people the spreadsheet and be like, duh, it's on the spreadsheet, and I'm like, oh, Mom, thank you. And I remember her logic a lot of the times that would just very like factually go through things. And I remember, Henry, that skateboard that you had, like the 80s skateboard, how old would you have been when we had that? Like 8, 9? Okay, so you'd have been 8, 9. I would have been like 6, 7-ish. So by Mom and Dad's house, there's a pathway that goes up to Nose Hill. And I remember we were going out as a family out on a walk on Nose Hill, and there's part of the pathway that kind of goes up, and then there's a quick little like dip up and down like this. And I was on like hands and knees on the skateboard, you know, pushing, because that makes sense as a kid, fine. And of course I went down the little thing, freaked out, fell off of it, rolled, road rash everywhere. And I remember crying and oh my God. And Mom and Dad, of course, run over and checking me out, fine. And there was a scratch or something on the back of me that I couldn't see. And Mom was like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? And I remember then there was something on the back that like, does this hurt? And of course, then I saw the bleeding and then I was like, ah! And Dad was like, it didn't hurt you a second ago. Why are you crying now? And I remember Mom saying to him, well, she sees it now, so of course it hurts. And even as like a little, whatever, 6, 7, however old I would have been, I remember thinking, how does that make sense? But it does, because now I see it and it hurts. It's strange. Anyway, so her little logic going through there. And I also remember as kids, okay, whoever was either a parent in the 80s or a child in the 80s, put your hand up. Okay, so clearly you remember the plastic, like Tupperware kids cups? Yes, right? And they had to be mustard yellow, orange, or like avocado green. Those are the only choices? Yes, okay. So we, of course, had these cups. They were like regular drinking cups. And we were having something special. It was like chocolate milk or something. And Mom was like, do you want it in this cup or do you want it in like the fancy like sundae glass? So we had sundae glasses too that were like tall glass ones that were like shaped for like at a sundae bar, right? And so I was like, ooh, I want the sundae glass because it's bigger. Everything in my childhood was a learning opportunity. Always. And I remember everything stopped and she was like, ooh, as a matter of fact, it's not bigger. And I was like, yeah, Ma, duh. I distinctly remember lots of times in my life being like, no, lady, in my head, when she'd be like, no, it's like this. And then she was always right. So of course everything stopped and then we did an experiment where we took the water from one glass and poured it into the other glass to find the volume was actually different. Mind-blowing moment. And I also remember, this is one of my wife Michelle, this is one of her favorite stories. So we went shopping and I got this shirt. I was in grade 1 and I got this shirt. I loved it. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was 1980s scratchy on the inside, fuzzy on the outside pajama shirt. Yes? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. And it was blue, like fuzzy, all on the outside. It had a square in the middle that was a rainbow with fuzzy clouds. Oh, gorgeous. And like the bad, scratchy, elastic wrists. Yes, loved it. So I got up to go to school and I put this shirt on. My mom's like, you're gonna wear that to school? And I was like, yeah. She goes, it's a pajama shirt. And I remember looking at her going, Ma, no one's gonna know. She's like, okay, away you go. And so off I go to school, and of course everyone's like, dude, why are you wearing a pajama shirt? And I was like, damn it, she was right again. Anyway, through a lot of these experiences and her logic, I very much learned that I could be whoever I wanted to be and wear whatever I wanted, even if it was a pajama shirt, and that she was always, always going to be right. Ugh. Anyway, I remember a childhood full of lots of fun memories and lots of activities. I remember summers outside. It was always like, get outside, and she had the deck off of the kitchen, and so the windows were all closed to keep the cool in the house, and so we would knock on the window, and she'd open the window and be like, what do you need? Popsicle, Mom? And so she'd like hand a popsicle out through the window to us. It was like the best drive-up little popsicle place ever, and I remember lots of baking Christmas cookies and coloring eggs at Easter, and just like Elizabeth was saying, always something baking and like these fantastic Halloween costumes she would make, and she always wore this like clown outfit to hand out candy to the kids to make it fun, and birthday cakes for sure. She made, one time for Cliff, a flying saucer cake. It was magical. There was candies all around it for the lights. And you know those little like chocolate ovation sticks? They were like sticking out all around it. It was amazing. And once, she made me a Barbie cake. let me tell you, it was life-changing. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. Really, it was just a round cake with a hole in the middle that she stuck a Barbie into, and then she decorated the whole thing. But then the whole cake was like her gorgeous dress, and then there was icing up her, and oh my God, it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life, let me tell you. So, and I also remember distinctly her, when she and Dad would go out, getting dressed up. And I remember this fantastically 80s dress with shoulder pads. There was blue, and it kind of was a cross over the front thing, and she had these garnet red earrings that she would wear. And I remember she would be doing her makeup in the mirror, and I remember she had powder or something. I don't do makeup. I don't know what it is. Someone can correct me. No, it wasn't. It was like for eyebrows, like to make it like the eyebrows posted just right, the way you do in the 80s. I don't know. They were supposed to be thin. Anyway, I'm looking, anybody a mom in the 80s? Can you help me? Anyway, I remember she's getting all dressed up, and I was like, Mom, I need more eyebrows too. And she's like, okay, close your eyes. Years later, she told me that she would just like turn the stick around and like touch my eyebrow, and I was like, wow. Anyway, I remember lots of hiking trips and biking trips, and we did, I don't know if it happened all in one summer that we did all these biking trips, or if they were in a bunch of summers, but we did like big, long scouting trips. But then we also did day trips, I remember, where we would set out on our bikes first thing in the morning from the house, and we biked like all across town. And sometimes Dad would meet us in a park somewhere, and we'd do like a picnic lunch together, and then we'd keep going through town, and then he'd pick us up at the end of the day, wherever we were. And it's just, of course, it's interesting, like even when I was going through this, and I'm like, I'm at a stage now where I remember my mom, or I've lived through years that I remember my mom from a kid. So it's neat to be like, dang woman, you were crazy, taking 3 kids on bikes, packing lunches, packing water, packing things with the dog, and the dog with us the whole way. And she had this big like basket on the back of her bike, and the dog's like pads started to get worn out from running with us all day. And so she took the dog, scooped her up, laid her in the back of this basket, strapped her in, got back on her bike, and was like, let's go. And we just kept right on going, because we had to get where we were. No cell phones. Dad's picking us up at the park, right? So she's just amazing. And it's interesting as well. Oh, that reminds me of another story. You guys don't have to be anywhere, do you? Because apparently I'm going to be one. Okay, so the same idea of like picturing your parents when you were, well, like in a grown-up age, right? Like, so I remember we used to have all these creative chores lists. So Mom had this idea of like different lists of making chores, not like you have to do your chores, but like something fun. We would get points for doing chores and points for like, not watching TV and whatever. And I remember as kids, Saturday mornings we got to watch TV. There was no TV before dinner, and after dinner is bedtime, right? So kind of there was no TV, except in the mornings we could watch Saturday morning cartoons. However, in the current point system, if you watched TV, you lost points. This was a conundrum. And so I remember Henry and Cliff and I standing at the top of the landing, like right outside of their door at like 7 in the morning or whatever time kids are up early. I don't know, Gabby, what are early kids up? I'm looking at the moms in the back. They're like early, good. So when kids are talking quietly, whispering? Okay, yeah. So the 3 of us were whispering right outside of Mom and Dad's door, being like, well, I don't know, but if we watch, we're not gonna lose, but I don't wanna lose points. But if you watch it, do I lose points? What if it's on and I'm not watching? I don't wanna lose. What if we watch? Well, maybe we can't. And I can picture them now just trying to sleep on Saturday. And it's like, kid, shut up. And I remember finally, I was voted the person to knock on the door and go in and ask if we watch TV, would we lose points? And I remember Dad being like, as soon as the door opened, he's like, you can watch TV. And we were like, yes. Because of course, we're being so loud. Anyway, I also remember the humor that Mom had and how very strong she is and how she taught me from a young age to use breath to be strong and to deal with difficult situations. And in situations like falling off of the skateboard, I remember she'd always be like, take a deep breath, calm, breathe. And of course, as a kid, I was like, I can't breathe. And now someone's crying and I'm like, it's okay, take a breath, take a nasal breath, turn into your autonomic nervous system. And she used to joke all the time, maybe like mom and dad would both joke, you know, oh, my wrist hurts. Come here, let me saw it off. Or come here, I'll punch you in the other arm and then that one won't hurt so much. And you know, always joking, just like, come on, you're strong, you can do this. And I feel like I used to train a lot for, to do fairly well in a lot of distance events and doing athletic training that would leave me doing late night sprints in the middle of winter until I'm screaming into the air from the effort and exertion. And I feel like part of that ability to be able to do those things is some of what Mom taught me, to be able to just do hard things. I'm capable of hard things. And although I also remember one time when so my mom, she can sleep like a rock, like dead to the world. And I remember I was out in the backyard doing some wood carving, because that's what a normal 12-year-old kid does on Saturday morning, is sits in the backyard doing wood carving, right? Yes. And I still have a scar here. I sliced open through my hand, and it was like a sharp, like wood cutting knife. And I remember slicing it and just immediately capping it and being like, that's probably not great. And I literally remember walking up to the door, and in a voice that was very not loud, like I was like, walked up and I was like, Mom, I cut myself. And I walked away. She's like, you could blow a bomb up beside her head and nothing would happen. 10 seconds, not even, half a second. Up, round, follow me to the bathroom, what's up, show me what happened, let me see, baby. Like, so there's this beautiful balance of like, come on, toughen up, and like, what did you, come here, let me fix it. Anyway, through youth, lots of camping, hiking, helping with homework. And she's smart, right? Like smart. And sometimes I'd be doing chemistry homework and it's late at night and I just want the answer. And that is not how my mother operates. Because you don't just get the answer, you have to understand not all of the things. And there was a question about electrons and how many electrons on a molecule. And I just wanted to know, was it 6 or 8? Is it 6 or 8, Mom? That's all I need to know. That was the wrong question to ask, because then we went into orbitals and the neutrons and the something and the pushing of the electrons, and I just wanted to know 6 or 8. And now people ask me questions about muscles and physiology, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, we have to back up and explain the whole thing. And I'm like, I am my mother. Okay, what can you do? And I remember lots of fun projects, and I actually have a tape. I did a project in high school that we had to do a radio play for English class off of a novel. And so we did this radio play of like an Agatha Christie story. And so we had like a cookie sheet with rocks that we were like walking in to make the sound of the rocks and stuff. And I found this recently and I played it. And I remember this day being so much fun, but like my mom just being a goofball and like the two of us just laughing our butts off, just doing this whole project and making these sound effects and just like all the fun that we had doing, you know, silly projects and stuff together. And Elizabeth talked about how amazing Mom is at sewing things, and she could create anything, and always, like Elizabeth said, out of the box. Mom very much likes to whatever the societal boundaries were, nope, we will do something else. And I have that same trend in me, but she would create anything, and I remember I would create clothes and stuff for high school, but I was very much more like, fabric, sew. And she'd be standing there going, you can't do it that way. Because of course her mother was a tailor, right? Like there are rules and the fabric and the pull and the things that I didn't care. I just was going to do it my way. And I remember her jokingly being like, if my mother saw you doing this, she would come up up from the grave and she would yell at me for letting you do it that way. And then she'd let me do it that way anyhow, but she also taught me a lot about how to figure stuff out. I remember as kids, it was always time to tune up your bikes, and you had to raise your bike seat and whatever, and be like, well, what do you need? Look at it. Figure it out. You probably need a wrench. Figure it out. And so we just learned from that, figure it out. Look at how it built. Look at how it comes apart, and how to take things apart, and how to fix things. And when I got a driver's license, I remember she was like, great, out we go. You gotta know how to change a flat. Let's do it. And all of these things that were just struck a big sense of independence in my life. And I always have this wonderful feeling with both of my parents that I can do anything. I can do anything. And if it goes wrong, they're just over there. They got my back. So I think that was the most beautiful gift that my parents have ever given me in my life, is this strong sense of independence, but also like, if it doesn't go so well, you got someone in your back pocket. So I think I already joked with you guys about how smart my mom was in the electrons, but she used to always be like, biology, I hate biology, it doesn't make sense. Everything's all about chemistry, it's all, she's a chemical engineer, right? And so I did kinesiology and lots of bio and zoology and these sort of things. And I remember coming home from a university class and being all like, oh, well, I just learned this fancy thing, and this and this and this happens and this and this. And she's sitting there listening, and then she goes, so would that mean then that if you did this and this changed, that this and this and this and this and this? And I was like, I don't know. It's tomorrow's lecture. But of course she was right. Like, she just figured it out, right? Like, so smart, like just so able to think. And just lots of small memories of like building our flower pots. Is one of my favorite things we do together, was go to a flower shop and get all the flowers and make our pots for outside of the house. And Michelle and I used to tease her all the time. So we went to the farmer's market one time, and Mom loved dill. It was one of her favorite spices. And we're going to these different stalls. And so she picks up the dill and she goes to smell it, but she kind of like smack the dill to her face and then smelled it. And so we started laughing, and she looks over, she's like, what? And so we called her the dill sniffer from then on. We always jokingly like called her the dill sniffer. And of course she's like, whatever. But she also definitely encouraged us for adventure. And when I was 19, I decided to do a volunteer project in a small little country called Swaziland in the southern part of Africa. And not only did she say, great, my little 19-year-old bumpkin, away you go to Africa before internet is solid and I have no way of getting a hold of you. She also then said, well, you're halfway around the world. Why don't you keep going? And so she encouraged me to do like a whole year where I traveled everywhere through India and Nepal and Guatemala and Africa and all these different places, just because she encouraged me to have this adventurous spirit. And it was all good so long as I planned it beforehand on a spreadsheet. Yes, you knew where I was going with that, right? So anyway, Mom's beautiful, her strength and her encouraging adventure and her way of kind of challenging the status quo definitely has always left myself, and I'm sure my brothers as well, with a feeling of independence and kind of always knowing that she was there to back us up if needed. And she's a sassy lady, and I'm lucky to have had her. Thank you, friends.
Well, I have quite a daughter. She learned it all from her mother. Couldn't have been me. I met Barbara at the first year engineering student initiation. Along with all the other engineering students, I had been given a can of beer. When I opened it, I found the can had been shaken. I sprayed everyone near me. One of the people whom I sprayed was a pretty young girl who was a first-year engineering student. how was I to know that 4 years later we would be married? After that rather inglorious, beer-drenched first meeting, Barbara and I went on our first date. We went to see the movie that was the talk of the town. It was billed as showing the real-life story of North America. The critics loved it. That should have been a clue, but we went anywhere. So, our first date was to go and see Easy Rider. After the movie was over, we both stumbled for words. After all, we were 18 and 19 years old. We wanted to be cool. Eventually, we managed to tell each other that we hated the show. As time went by, we realized that given a choice of a hard life, gritty drama, or Disney, we'd take the Disney show. In many ways, our life was as idyllic as a Disney story. Whatever challenge was thrown at us, we knew that we would succeed. We started our married life in the town of Corunna, Ontario, a metropolis of 2,000 people. The St. Clair River ran by with the huge freight boats that plied the Great Lakes. That did not stop us. We took our 16-foot cedar strip canoe out on the river and explored the island. One time, Pam and Paul brought their canoe and joined us. We found a genuine First Nations arrowhead in the sand at Stag Island. Of course, we immediately lost it when it fell out of the canoe. Sometimes life's like that. Both Barbara and I had a love of learning. We moved to London to work on master's degrees at the University of Western Ontario. Our house had a huge lot, so there was an equally huge vegetable garden. Henry was born in London. In 1978, we moved to Calgary. Andrea and Cliff were born here. Barbara participated in every phase of our children's development. She started as the play coordinator in Observation Nursery. In the play group, children are offered a variety of child-directed play experiences. This was facilitated by Barbara. The play encouraged toddlers and preschoolers through make-believe expression of feelings and provided opportunities for early childhood social interaction. I can still remember the time that one of the mothers was concerned that her child had painted everything in his drawing black. What had gone wrong that her child could only express his feelings as dark and black? Barbara resolved the problem when she explained that the black paint was the only one that had been mixed when the child started painting. It wasn't a black mood, it was just the only paint available. Problem resolved. Barbara was a Brownie leader and a Girl Guide leader for our daughter. She was a Cub leader for the boys. There were many camps where the Cubs heard the mystical notes of a flute playing mysteriously in the evening. As leaders, Barbara and I took our co-ed scout troop on a week-long canoe trip down the Red Deer River. In 1993, Barbara and I took our scout contingent to the Canadian Jamboree in Kananaskis. We could have gone directly to Kananaskis from Calgary, Or we could have taken a week and traveled by bicycle down to Nanton, across to Longview, up Highway 40, and then finally come in the back trails to enter the Jamboree site. Can anyone guess which one we chose? The Jamboree directors are still wondering how those back trails allowed us to arrive at the site without checking in at the front gate. They also wonder how we managed to bring a full-size teepee and set it up. If anyone remembers that wet, cold Jamboree of July 1993, the weather was either rain or snow. I cannot tell you how many scouts enjoyed the warmth of the fire in our teepee. As our children grew older, Barbara joined a synchronized skating team. Andrea joined a synchronized skating team. Barbara volunteered as the team manager. Neither Barbara nor I are very good figure skaters. However, that meant that we were a perfect fit for the Calgary Adult Rusty Blades synchronized skating team. The whole team were terrible skaters. The judges laughed so hard that they fell out of their chairs. But all the teenagers were proud that their parents were willing to try. We received a standing ovation for every performance. Our love of skating was so deep that we took it, and for many years, we were volunteer coaches with Special Olympics, teaching young children how to skate. Barbara loved painting. Barbara enjoyed reading, particularly science fiction and fantasy books. Amongst other things, this led to a fascination with Harry Potter. One year, all of the family were given Hogwarts-style wands. My sister Pam has even been known to use her wand while conducting church music. Barbara loved music. She played the flute. She joined the Calgary Strummers ukulele group. I'm going to ask some representatives from the ukulele group to come up now and play one of her favorite tunes, the Garden Song. Both Barbara and I love dogs. We became volunteers with the Pet Access League Society. Through PALS, Barbara brought joy to many children at schools, students at SAIT and the University of Calgary, the elderly at seniors' homes, and anyone who realizes just how good it feels to pat a dog. Throughout her entire life, Barbara volunteered and brought joy to people. Before Barbara died, she signed a number of your awesome inspirational song cards. The cards are in a basket up in the reception area. I will ask that everyone please take a card when you go to the reception, read it, share it with others who are here. Barbara has now left us. Our time with her is over. I must admit, that makes me sad. In Macbeth, Shakespeare wrote, "Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak will knit up the overwrought heart and will bid it break." There are no words to describe the waves of grief that struck me, the loss and the mourning that I felt and still feel. I miss her. I will not let this sadness overpower me, nor should anyone else. Barbara brought joy to people and wanted to make people happy, make the world a better place, spread laughter. She wanted to die at a ripe old age while still young at heart. On your program is the poem, "Remember Me." You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty, turn your back, or you can do what she would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. I hope that everyone here will remember Barbara with love and take that love forward. Thank you, family. I needed that. The service will be ending shortly. After the service is completed, I ask that everyone join me for refreshments in the Mountain View room. There's a microphone set up there. I encourage everyone to share a story of what they remember about Barbara. all the friends that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all those I loved throughout my life, they would wish me one more day to stay. But it fell unto my lot that I have died, and you have not. So fill to me a parting glass, and drink to health whatever falls, then gently rise and softly call, goodbye, and joy be to you all. I know that Barbara will be watching over my shoulder and anyone else's shoulder who remembers her or needs her help. I'd like to thank the St. Thomas United Church for allowing this service, the Calgary Ukulele Strummers for their participation, and all of you for coming. I will ask Reverend Tracy to close the celebration.
What a lovely, lovely service. We who have been left behind undoubtedly have days where we truly feel left behind. But that's a testament to how much you loved Barbara. To have Barbara entrusted to us has been a great honor, and all that was good and kind in her will remain in the world through our memories, but most importantly, through the living on of her love and lessons. All the good she's given to us and the world. Now it's our turn to carry on Barbara's legacy, and let's make her proud. I'm going to end with a poem called Love and Death. 'Tis a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, to hope, to dream, to be. A fearful, and to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools, this, and an honorable and holy thing. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, an honorable thing, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. May joy and peace surround each and every one of you. Contentment latch your door, and happiness be with you now and bless you evermore. Amen. I'm going to invite Pam up to close us off with a recessional, and we'll let Bob lead the way. Whenever you're ready to go up, we'll all head upstairs.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side.
You're on the right side.
Yes, that is great.
That's fine. Thank you very much. So this outfit was made by Barbara for our attendance at folk festivals. She made it out of 2 caftans, and quite amazing. She also asked me to learn this song for Bob. Before she passed away, we were out walking, and she asked that this song be learned for him. It's called I Hover Over by Joan McIsaac, and I hope my mask stays down, not going up into my eyeballs this time. I hover over your left shoulder. I am the sunlight in your eyes, though you don't know it. I'm right with you in the shadow That